Hi, Alicia here. Welcome to my channel. Today I am here to do the stay-at-home book tag. Hey pals, how's it going? How you doing? I hope you are doing well. Today I'm going to do the stay-at-home book tag. This book tag was created by Princess of Paperback and I believe was kind of started at the beginning of the pandemic to kind of encourage people to stay home and stay safe. And that is still relevant today, so I would love to participate in that. I was also tagged to do this tag by Sean and Bert over at Pastorytime. I will link their channel below. I definitely recommend checking them out. They were some of the first people to find my booktube when I started and have just been so kind and welcoming and nice and supportive in this community. They just have great videos that are just a lot of fun to watch. So definitely recommend checking them out. And I'm also going to, going forward, I would love to tag Tiana at Space Jockey and Maya over at Bespectacled to do this tag next. They are other booktubers who are just a joy to watch and definitely worth going over and taking a little subscribe. So this tag has 9 questions or 9 prompts, and let's just go through them, why don't we? Number 1, laying in bed. A book you could/have read in a day. So for this one, I went and did an audit of all of the books that I read in the last year. And last year there were 2 books that I read in one sitting. So I'll go through both of those really quickly. So the first one is The Good Son by Jung Yoo-jung. This is a thriller mystery, like a psychological thriller about a man who wakes up one morning and when he goes downstairs, his mother is dead on the floor. And he has no memory of the night before. He has no idea what has happened. He has no idea who has killed his mother. So he has to kind of go on this journey within himself to try and uncover what has happened over the last few days. This was such a fast-paced and suspenseful read. As soon as I started it, I absolutely just had to get to the end to know what happened. This is, yeah, make sure that you pick this one up when you have the time to not do anything else ever again until you finish it. This is a South Korean thriller and I just want more thrillers and horrors from South Korea now. This is an amazing, amazing book. The other book that I could/have read in one sitting is My Sister the Serial Killer by Oyinkan Braithwaite. I believe this book came out last year and it is marketed as a mystery thriller, but it is actually much more of a black comedy. It's like a contemporary black comedy. I loved this book. This is about a woman whose her younger sister just keeps killing men. She just keeps killing the men that she dates, and she has to help her clean up her sister's murdering habits. This has a lot of social commentary in it. It is really funny. You're basically within this murdering family in this book, but you love it. You love them. You just all men are bad. So My Sister the Serial Killer was an excellent book that I just devoured in one day. Highly recommend. Snacking, a guilty pleasure book. So I kind of present this question because it implies that you would feel guilt about reading the books that you read, and I don't think that I don't really think that way. I don't feel guilty about anything that I read, and I don't think that anybody else should feel guilty for the things that they read. But for this one, I have basically picked a book that there is no way that I can be objective when reviewing. Because if there's one little fun fact about me, it is that I am obsessed with everything to do with dinosaurs. So this book that I'm about to share, I was predestined to love. So then I gave it 5 stars. It was like one of the absolute best books I had ever read, but I don't know if I'm objective about this book anymore. So that book is Raptor Red by Robert T. Bakker. So this book has like a wonderful little foiled cover. So Raptor Red is a spanning adventure novel that is from the point of view of a female raptor named Red. And this fun little thing about this book also has a dramatis personae of all the characters that show up in this book. So this is about Raptor Red. It is from her point of view. So Robert T. Bakker, a little fun fact about him is that he was the paleontologist consultant for all of the animatronics for Jurassic Park. So he is one of the world's, or was one of the world's most foremost renowned paleontologists. He consulted on a lot of the designs for Jurassic Park, and a lot of those kind of science revelations are explored in Raptor Red. This is like a full-on adventure drama. So you are within Raptor Red's point of view. She is filled with emotion. She is filled with thought. This this book made me really emotional, and I absolutely loved it. So if you like dinosaurs and if you like velociraptors, check out this babe in Raptor Red. Netflix, a series you would like to start. So for this one, a series that I would love to read is the Wayfarer series, beginning with The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This promises to be a very character-driven science fiction series taking place on a spaceship, but it's obviously, or it's not obviously, but it is promised to be a lot more about the characters and the character development and the interactions between them rather than this science fiction world, and I am really excited about that. It also promises to be quite diverse as well, so we all about that. So this one has been on my shelf for a while. My partner Josh is actually reading this one right now, and he is really liking it. So I cannot wait to get to this series soon. Deep Clean, a book that has been on your TBR for ages. So is this just this is just a shaming question, I guess? So the joke in my life is that I have lived with Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson for longer than I have lived with anything or anyone ever. I have moved with this book maybe 10 times. I have carried this with me probably since high school and have still not read it. And it has just become some sort of internal joke in my life. I don't know if I will ever read it. I mean, I want to. I just keep never doing it. And the longer I don't read it, the greater the divide between me and it becomes. But I cannot part with it. So Snow Crash, I do know that it is about a man named Hero Protagonist, which sounds amazing. He is a pizza delivery boy by day, and then by night he dives into some sort of like Matrix style universe, multiverse, and he's just a badass butt-kicking warrior guy. So it's like a cyberpunk book. That sounds amazing. I obviously wanted to read this when I bought it. I just never have. So this has been on my my TBR for maybe 15 plus years. So let's shame me into reading this, why don't we? Animal Crossing, a book that you picked up because of the hype. Only one? Because I have picked up many a book because of the hype, but one that specifically and 100% got me because of the hype is The Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I haven't read this yet, but I do still really want to, but I definitely know that I picked this up because it was like all over BookTube for a couple of months and everybody was loving it, everybody was obsessed with it, everybody was obsessed with the cover, which it is a beautiful cover. But that aside, This is a YA horror about a bunch of girls trapped on an island because there is a disease on it, and they have the disease. I've heard that it is compared to Lord of the Flies, but with a bunch of girls. So I'm interested in that. That sounds interesting to me. I love horror. I don't think I've ever actually read a YA horror, so there's a first time for everything. And let's hype me up for this some more so I actually get around to it. I do want to read it. Haven't yet. Hyped. Productivity, a book that you learned from or that has had an impact on you. So for this one, I have a non-fiction essay collection. This is A Mind Spread Out on the Ground by Alicia Elliott. Alicia Elliott is an Indigenous author in Canada. This book was published in 2019 and is a collection of essays essentially surrounding the legacy of genocide and colonization against Indigenous people. So this is specifically from the lens of within Canada, but this applies to all of North America and essentially any colonized nation in the world. I read this book last year and this was profoundly eye-opening and impactful, and even now more than ever, given everything that's happening in the world, or everything that has always been happening in the world, this is kind of essential reading for any white settler in any colonized nation. Each one of these essays goes into a different basically a different plight that affects Indigenous peoples, whether it is intergenerational trauma, racism, poverty, mental illness. It is definitely a read that will make you feel really uncomfortable, but that is the point. It is about confronting your own inner racism, whether or not you recognize it or not. This was a beautifully written story. It is meant to be condemning, but it is also just really accessible, even though it didn't need to be. This book didn't need to be as accessible as it was, but it is so beautiful, so haunting, so harrowing, so eye-opening, and I learned a lot from this. Reading this book only made me want to go out and read more. It only compelled me to go out and learn more and find out more that I could do. I am not blind to the racism that is prevalent every day in my own country. I don't live in the United States, I live in Canada, but Canada is just as bad, if not more, and this is definitely required reading and definitely one that I would recommend to anyone. FaceTime, a book you've been gifted. So I have been very fortunate to have received 2 gifts within the last couple of days from friends. So I will share both of those with you. So the first book gift that I was sent is Talk to Me, an anthology of Arctic horror stories. This just has like a beautiful cover with a hidden crow on it. Talk to Me is an Inuktitut word meaning in the dark, and this is a collection, an anthology collection from different artists. All of the authors are own voices. They are either Inuk writers or settlers living in or who have always lived in the territories in Canada. I have started reading this. I am about 3 stories in, and they promised to be scary, and they are. Like, they are all very remote horror that is playing off the isolation of the area, but then also all of the lore and mythology in Inuk culture. And I have been spooked out with goosebumps multiple times in these stories. So I can't wait to finish this. My friend Zola sent this to me, and it is just absolutely the exact thing that I wanted to be reading. So thank you, Zola, and I am loving this. And when I finish it, I hope to recommend it to you all. The second book gift I was sent is The Devil All the Time by Donald Ray Pollock. My friend Brianna sent this to me after I finished and loved Last Days by Brian Evanson. The Devil All the Time seems like a Southern Gothic noir. It's set in Ohio and it is following a nefarious cast of characters. There are serial killers. I believe there is a spider-eating preacher and a local corrupt sheriff. So I am expecting just like wacky, dark characters from this and a whole lot of mayhem and possibly violence. This was a surprise, another surprise book gift in the mail, and I cannot wait to get to this one too. So thanks again, pals. Self-care. Something you have done recently to take care of yourself. So mentally, to take care of myself, I started this book channel. I started my booktube channel as soon as we kind of went in, like right at the cusp of the pandemic. I wanted people to talk to. I wanted to talk about books, and this has been nothing but a positive experience for me. I really enjoy doing this. It gives me some way to use my time in a productive way, and I was going to be reading anyway, so why not talk about some books? So that has been a wonderful, positive, good for me experience for my brain and for physically, for my body. Back when I went into the office, I'm working from home now. I used to walk to and from work, so that was a lot of walking that I was doing that I'm not doing now. So I got the idea from my mom to try and walk at least a marathon every week. So I have been doing my damnedest to get out there and walk at least a marathon, which I believe is 42, or at least I've been aiming for 42 kilometers. I think that's a marathon. Anyways, that's what I've been trying to do. Trying to walk at least a marathon a week. Some weeks I've been successful, some weeks I've been close. All I gotta do is try, though. We're just trying our best, pals. Prompt number 9, which is a bonus one. Name a book coming out soon that you are excited about. So there are 3, I just did a little list researching, and there are 3 books upcoming that I am very excited about coming out. So I've got my little my notes here. The first one is The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This is coming out on July 14th. I have seen a lot of ARCs out and about floating around, but I believe this book actually comes out in July. This is a horror by an Indigenous American author that promises to be kind of like Jordan Peele and Get Out, so don't need to tell me any more about that. The second one is a re-release. It is a re-release of The Cipher by Kathy Koja. This comes out on September 15th. This book has been out of publication for many, many years, so it is really hard to find and really hard to get your hands on, but I have heard that it is amazing. Alex at Hey Little Thrifter, she talks about it countless times about how it is one of the best books ever, so I am so excited for it to be re-released so that I can finally get my little ugly mitts on it. And the third book that I am really excited about coming out is Earthlings by Sayaka Murata. This book is already out in Japan, but it is being released in English in October of 2020. I don't really know what this book is about, but I read Sayaka Murata's first book last year, Convenience Store Woman, and it was one of the best books. It was one of my best books that I had read last year, one of the best books that I had read ever of all time. She writes contemporary fiction in just an amazing way. In Convenience Store Woman, it was very much like a contemporary story surrounding a woman who was just living the life that she wanted to be living, didn't really give a shit about what other people thought. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm all over that. So it was all about defying the requirements of society to live your true, happy life. I have no idea what Earthlings is about, but I am. You know I am. I'm gonna be there for it. So those were the 9 stay-at-home prompts. I really enjoyed doing this. Thanks again, Pastorytime, for tagging me. I would love to know your answers to these questions. I've also would like to know if you read any of the books that I mentioned. So thanks again for being here, pals. I really appreciate you. Stay safe out there, take care, and until next time, see ya, pals.